At night when my wife is not at home. I received a text message from Aunt Wang next door. Since then, Aunt Wang often comes to my house. These two sets of clothes. Which one do you like? I'm dressed. I'll wait for you at home obediently. Wife. Su Qing's company is on a business trip for half a month. I'm lying on the sofa watching a football match. Suddenly received a message on my phone. I'm getting up. Glanced twice. He sat up suddenly in shock. Aunt Wang. Wang Shui actually sent me 2 sets of photos. Makes my mouth dry. Swallowing saliva. I picked up the can of beer and took 2 sips. A thought flashed through my mind. I hurriedly saved the 2 photos. Wait and enjoy slowly later. Wife. Su Qing's mother left early. Almost all of them were brought up by Aunt Wang. Just as I expected. It's almost 2 minutes. Aunt Wang suddenly withdrew the photo. Before I could ask, she called. Chang. You didn't see anything just now, did you? Aunt Wang's voice was a little nervous. Maybe it's because I just saw those photos. I was sitting cross-legged on the sofa wearing big underpants. What? Aunt Wang. I understand. My uncle has been dead for so many years. I won't tell Su Qing. This is the secret between the 2 of us. I said while flicking the screen. Look at the saved photos. Don't tell me that Aunt Wang takes good care of herself. You oops. How have you seen it all? Not what you think. I was supposed to go dancing tonight. That's just a joke. Aunt Wang explained over the phone coquettishly. All adults. Such lies. Who would believe it? When Su Qing and I got married, I was once surprised at how young Aunt Wang is. Later I heard her say, Aunt Wang ran away with someone when she was 18 years old. Although the later men were responsible for Aunt Wang. But his life was short and he died within a few years. Count it up. Aunt Wang is now in her 40s and is like a wolf and a tiger. It makes sense to find a man. Aunt Wang. You're not going to have an appointment tonight. I won't tell Su Qing. Go and get busy. I don't know which part of my brain is wrong. He actually said this directly. Aunt Wang and I were both silent for a while. Soon she hung up the phone. I have no intention of watching the game anymore. He drank all the beer hastily into his stomach. Took a cold shower. I lay down and slept. But I don't know what's going on. That night I tossed and turned and couldn't sleep. The next morning, I vaguely felt someone standing next to me. I opened my eyes suddenly. Suddenly I saw Aunt Wang. When did she come? Aunt Wang is wearing a tight dress. I still have my change of clothes in my hand. Her face was a little blushing. She still exudes bursts of fragrance. She hurriedly grabbed the quilt and covered her body. Aunt Wang. Why are you here? I sat up and asked. Aunt Wang. I have the key. When I first got married, Su Qing said, I feel that neither of us can take care of ourselves. Can't cook either. Aunt Wang occasionally comes over to help us cook. Clean up the house. I didn't really care about these things at first. So I gave Aunt Wang a bunch of keys. But she never entered the bedroom before. And it was still when Su Qing was not around. Su Qing is not at home. I thought you must not eat on time. Come and cook you a meal. Look at the mess in the living room. I took advantage of the fact that I had nothing else to do in the morning. I washed all the clothes for you. Aunt Wang didn't seem to see it. He also folded his clothes and put them in his arms. Chiang will come out in a moment. Bring it on. I'll make delicious food for you. I took a cold shower for half an hour. Get out of the bedroom. Aunt Wang is busy in the kitchen. She heard movement. Look back at me. Chang. You are here. Just in time to scratch my back. I can't take my hands away. Aunt Wang. Is this good? I stood there with my Adam's apple rolling. Aunt Wang blinked. Flip hair to one side. What's wrong with this? Chang. I already know about Su Qing and you. How long do you two want to keep this secret? I stood there as if struck by lightning. My divorce from Su Qing. He actually knew. Su Qing is a colleague of my former company. When she first joined the job. A beautiful beauty and perfect figure. Being pursued by many male colleagues in the company. I was thinking about making money. Have no interest in these. But I didn't expect that Su Qing would take the initiative to come to me. She often uses work excuses to approach me. Come and go. I also have feelings for her. The two often go hiking and watching movies. Then the relationship was officially confirmed. I will marry her soon. And took options from the company. Leave and start your own business. Su Qing knows the fun of life very well. Except for growing up pampered. Nothing but housework and cooking. Nothing to fault. I don't care. After all, you can hire a nanny to do those things. But I never expected. Su Qing will betray me. Found a richer old man. I noticed something was wrong with her. They always say that the company travels frequently. Then he used hackers to retrieve her information. I found out that she said she always checked into a hotel room when she worked overtime. I caught her in bed with that man that day. Take her home. Su Qing did not explain. Instead, she confidently said that she is richer than you. I'll take her money and come back to support you. Isn't this bad? Fart. I use her money to support her. Su Qing happily agreed to divorce me. But in order to ensure the stability of our company. My father was not in good health at that time either. I'm afraid that if he knows this, it will affect his mood. I will discuss the divorce with Su Qing. Keep it hidden for now. Externally, they only say that the company has a very heavy task. Need to travel frequently. Help each other until the time comes. Make it public again. Su Qing should be hiding it from Aunt Wang at home. How do you know how to detect my positive energy? Aunt Wang also stood up straight while holding on to the stove. I brought Su Qing up since she was a child. What is her character? I know best. When you two got married, I just thought she must not be able to bear it. But you are a good man. Aunt Wang stares at me. I really envy her too. The words are not finished yet. She turned around and took a bite of the soup. Wang Shui. Without being reminded of that kind of thing, I am used to naturally helping him bring the rice to the table and try my handiwork. Wang Shui served me a bowl of chicken soup. To be honest, Wang Shui's cooking skills are indeed good. I heard from Su Qing that Aunt Wang had thought about opening a restaurant in the past, but at that time, the financial conditions were difficult and there was really no other way. The dishes prepared by many restaurants are not as delicious as hers. In the past few years of marriage, Wang Shui has really spoiled my appetite. I took 2 sips without any doubt, but I always felt that there seemed to be something else in the chicken soup today, like Chinese medicine. Ah Qiang, you and Xiaoqing have been divorced for so long and you haven't thought about finding another one? Wang Shui sat across from me with her chin drawn, looking at me with charming eyes and putting her hands on the dining table. I don't know if it was because the soup was a bit hot, but it was really hard to endure, and my back was soaked with sweat. At your age, the needs must be great. Xiaoqing can't help you about the divorce, so why not let Aunt Wang help you? Wang Shui's feet began to feel restless again. Aunt Wang, Su Qing and I have divorced, and we have also discussed that this matter is a peaceful breakup. If you have nothing to do in the future, you will not come. I have found a nanny, and she will be here in a few days. I tried to refuse, but Wang Shui had already stood up and hooked my neck. Ah Qiang, I knew the way you looked at me when you got married. Do you dare to say that you had no other thoughts in your mind at that time? Wang Shui was right. On the day of the wedding, I saw that Wang Shui was indeed a little confused. Fantasy, but how could I possibly lay a hand on her? You have already said that you are divorced, but you and Xiaoqing have no relationship, so what can't we do? Wang Shui touched my head with her hand after speaking. My head was a little dizzy at this time and I shook my head. I originally wanted to push Wang Shui away, but for some reason, the moment I touched her, the cold touch made me stop unconsciously. Listen to your inner thoughts, Ah Qiang. Wang Shui leaned close to my ear. Today's chicken soup contains the ingredients I added for you. How about we go to the bedroom? Wang Shui saw that my medicine had already taken effect. Attacks are no longer hidden. I said there was something wrong with today's chicken soup, but now I can't spit it out even if I press my throat. I looked at Wang Shui in a daze, my mind gradually being taken over by impulse. I suddenly pushed her away and went straight to the bathroom. I rushed into the bathroom, turned on the cold water and took a cold shower. I felt like I was rolling in the snow, but I still couldn't control the urge in my body. Ah Qiang, why don't you let me help you if you are feeling so uncomfortable? Wang Shui's voice sounded outside. When I walked out, I saw that she had taken off her skirt and put on a black lace nightgown. My eyes suddenly turned red and my scalp was numb. I walked over directly, pinched her arm and pulled her up. She cried out in pain, "Oh, please be gentle to others." I was no longer sleepy and couldn't help, but my head was numb. "What, is it that the old men outside can't satisfy you?" I scolded her, but Wang Shui seemed to be happy to be scolded. "Yes, I have always been there thinking about you. They are definitely not as good as you. You are the most powerful. Who can refuse?" I really can't control this kind of person, but I heard the sound of the door opening behind me. "Qiang, I'm back, let's talk." Su Qing's voice came from behind. I subconsciously turned around and met her eyes. Su Qing must have just come back from the airport, still pushing the suitcase in her hand. He actually froze on the spot. What are you doing?" "Xiao Qing, you're back." I have to say that it was because of Wang Shui's psychological quality that she actually dragged Su Qing to the side and said in a low voice, "It's all your fault that you can't coax him. I have to step in. Help you. You also know what is going on in our family. How can we divorce him? No matter what, today cannot be wasted." Wang Shui blinked. Hearing Wang Shui's words, he finally knew her plan. Su Qing and Wang Shui have very big living habits. No matter how much money they have, they will spend money on their hands and feet. Moreover, they both specially choose the kind of rich people and rely on their men to support them. They cannot save money in their hands. Wang Shui's business situation has been bad recently, and there is no man around her who can afford to support her, so her living conditions have dropped directly, and she can no longer even afford the property fees for her apartment at home. Wang Shui knew that Su Qing and I were divorcing. She originally thought that she had found a better partner, but she didn't expect that the old man Su Qing was looking for was actually an empty box. His company and money belonged to his wife's family. Knowing that the man is messing around outside, the wife directly cuts off the man's financial lifeline and wants to divorce him. Even the wife wanted to get back all the money he spent on Su Qing. The lawyer said that the money was their joint property, so the man had no right to give it to Su Qing. Su Qing was not going on a business trip these days, but was hiding out, fearing that the man's wife would come to his door. All the money, bags, and jewelry in her hands were also exchanged for money to fill the hole. The pair of vampires couldn't find the right person, so Wang Shui thought of me as their scapegoat. They hoped that I would be able to accept Su Qing again, but Su Qing was unwilling. She still had some feelings for me and didn't want to continue to deceive me, so she refused Wang Shui's persuasion. Seeing this, Wang Shui could only mount the horse himself. The photos and text messages she sent me that day were all sent intentionally by her. They were just a trap, leading me into them step by step. Wang Shui had prepared a pinhole camera in her bag, facing the bed. Then Wang Shui can use these pictures and videos to threaten me, and my company and career will be affected. In order to be able to calm down and stabilize, I will definitely take money to solve it.